the news says no hiding place for cultists. DPOs vows relentless crackdown amid fresh killings in Jet2 Auchi. Now, in response to the recent wave of court-related killings across Jet2 and Auchi communities in Asako West local government area of Edo State, the divisional police officers, DPOs of Jet2 Division, CSP Otwaga Joseph, and the DPO Auchi Division, CSP Ezezebo Paul, have both declared a full-scale offensive war against cultism and other related criminal activities. Now, the DPO detailed that the police have embarked on a strategic anti-cultism campaign, traversing all affected areas to engage the public and discourage the youths in these areas from joining cult groups. Now, he said the black spots, drinking joints, and hotel premises across the division have been raided in the past days as part of a broader security operation. Now, they are assuring residents that efforts such as stop and search and intensive patrols would continue until sanity is fully restored. Now, in a stern warning to cultists also, the DPOs declared that all cultists within their areas should relocate, noting that it is no longer business as usual, as anyone caught will face the full wrath of the law. Now, the police would not relent in their mission, and even those that are found with hard drugs would not be spared, as such substances often fuel violent crimes. Now, the recent raiding in Jet2 community and our environments by men of the Jet2 Divisional Police, and in reaction to public concerns about possible extortion and targeting of innocent citizens during the raids, the Jet2 DPO dismissed the allegations, urging hotel owners and residents to verify the facts. He explained that individuals found to be innocent after profiling were released unconditionally, while only those proven to be culpable were transferred to Benin for prosecution. Now, reassuring residents also in Jet2 and Auchi, the DPOs remarked that the police remain undeterred and committed to flushing out criminal elements by the renewed security operation, which signaled a zero-tolerance approach to restore peace and protect law-abiding citizens across these areas. So this is the news that we want to talk on today's news analysis. Now, the latest security operations follows a chilling wave of court-related killings. Most notably, a motor park manager in Jet2 was gruesomely murdered. In the wake of that issue, police launched back-to-back raids in Jet2 and Auchi, and just like we've read in the news, several suspects have been arrested and handed over to the anti-cultism unit in Benin for prosecution. Now, the first question I want to ask is, well, sorry to start on this note, but on today's Qalam News Analysis, of course, we have Mr. Muhamed Mansour Ibrahim joining us on today's discussion segment. We really have a lot to talk about, and that is why I skipped that part. I'm sorry about that. So good day, Mr. Muhamed Mansour, and thank you for joining us on today's Qalam News Analysis.
Our listeners, good afternoon, and thank you for engaging me once again.
All right, thank you very much. And of course, this is Gift Okhagbuzor on today's Qalam News Analysis. Now, Mr. Mansour, once again, thank you for being here. Now, the first question I want to ask is, we see that the DPOs are making it clear that it is no longer business as usual. Cultists should relocate or face the full wrath of the law. Now, here's the first big question for you. Are these actions the right kind of response that we need, or is there something better that we should expect the police to be doing in issues relating to court killings?
Yes, policing is not about brutality or force. What I mean brutality or force is just carrying out arrests. Who are these people? Are they faceless? Those people doing this, when there are crises, I think the first thing is you apply this conflict resolution approach.
Okay.
What are conflict resolution approaches? Is mediation.
Okay.
And since you said they are groups, they are gangs, because I know at a point in time, some of them, all this fraternity were recognized by the government. All of a sudden now the government said, no, they are no longer recognized. Then what do you now do? You withdraw their licenses and make people to renounce. But I think it's just kind of a facial dressing, what the government is doing. If they really want, most of them in the government are involved. It is what the society recognize. So that's why the youth are involved in it. So this thing will continue until the right thing is done. If cultism must stop, definitely their fathers and mothers must renounce. They should start from the parents. How can a father be a cultist? You say, tell the son not to be a cultist. All of them are bloodletters. So I think the first thing the police should do is to, first of all, know the faces of those cultists. Who are their leaders? Sit down, profile them. Then sign an MOU. That is the first step the police were supposed to, not making an arrest. All these arrests you are making, you are just, yes, people who did the crime are there. What are the bases, what are the issues that give rises to conflict? First of all, get the leaders. Every organization has a leader, and they were registered. And they are branding their destiny everywhere. So what are we talking about? Even among the security men, they are there, which ought not to be. So I think the first thing is that the security were supposed to come up with an all-encompassing solution. What is an all-encompassing solution? Is, first of all, know those who are the henchmen of these groups. Not those who are fomenting trouble. By the time you get the henchmen, just that when a child is misbehaving, go and talk to the father. The father should talk to his son. If he cannot, then the both of them will be apprehended. So I think this is the first step the police were supposed to do.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, I want to get something clear on this statement that DPO is making. He said it's no longer business as usual. So does this mean that before...
It was a business.
Wow.
It was a business. That's why I tell you it was recognized. All of a sudden now, because they now become a menace, they want to outlaw them. Every part of this thing, nobody is not aware. More than 25 different cult groups, both male group, female group, and all the rest of them. That's why you see they are proliferating in most schools. That's why the crisis is, if they don't have, what do you call it, support, how would they go all this way? Since I know this type of issue, since we were born in this environment, those things have been happening, arrests have been made. Have they been prosecuted?
Not heard of anything about that.
So I think the first thing is to bring everybody to book. Then they should get the main people in charge and address the issue from the leadership.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mansour. Now, let's be honest, this is not just a J2 problem alone. It is a deep-rooted issue across Edo State. Now, in Ekpoma to Benin, from Auchi to Ubiaja, cult groups or gangs have evolved from underground initiations to full-on urban terrorism. Now we have the rival factions. I do not want to call the names, but you know names of our listeners, you do know the names of some of those cult groups. Now they are often linked to territorial control, the motor park extortion, drug trafficking, and even political thuggery. Now, in some parts of Edo, these cult-related deaths outnumbered armed robbery incidents. Now, in 2023 alone, over 45 cult-related killings were reported statewide, and that's higher than some insurgency zones. So, this police crackdown, is it really long overdue, but is it enough in all of this?
You see, all these things that are happening, these are children of other people being killed. Worse than even kidnapping. Kidnapping will tell you, bring money, they will release them for you. It's only in some cases that the person will be eliminated. Now, instantly, you are just mentioning few. Within a space of 3 weeks, this one that happened between Jetu and Auchi, a vulcanizer was killed along Waraka Road. You understand? There was a barber that was killed at LL Road in Jetu. Then this one, you said the park manager was shot in this thing. There was another one. 2 park managers were. She does only one now. One at Angonate, one in this thing.
Yeah, true. One at
4 within a space of a month or 3 weeks. Yeah. So what are we telling ourselves? within the same community. So I think it's high time, if the police are really serious about the case or this issue, the first thing is to get, they have leadership, and like the governor said, they should expunge or withdraw the registration of all these groups. They come to table. And you are talking about political thuggery. Yes, politicians are harboring them because most of them are involved. Most of them are involved. If you say all the politicians we have in this environment, let's purge them of cultism, none of them will cross the distance. So this is what is happening. So they are being perpetrated for cultism, for political perpetration. So I think it's high time for us to have peace. Definitely we have to expunge or we have to purge this society of this type of people, because they are nuisance. Yes, it's nuisance.
Of course.
How can you be letting blood like that?
See if they are chickens.
Even chickens, there's respect. You first of all pick a chicken, put the chicken in a cage. You understand? When the chicken is there, you are even feeding the chicken. When the time comes to slaughter the chicken, that you don't. Have you seen somebody want to kill chicken? You use gun to shoot the chicken. It's not done. But you are shooting a human being as if you are hunting. So I think it's high time. I think a robust approach should be used, not this declaring a war against them. Declaring a war. You haven't declared a war against yourself, because among your men, check your men if they are not there, because whatever you decide, they will tell them.
Of course.
Because it's a menace in the entire society. It's not just a one-man show. It's not a police versus a cultism.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? It's a societal menace. And the police, most of them, if you check, some of them are involved.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we saying? So that means you are fighting yourself.
Or start cleaning from the house.
You must have to start cleaning from the house. So I think for the society to be good, definitely a roundtable discussion has to come up. That is the dialogue approach must be used, not this thing. You first of all use the carrot approach before you use the force. That force approach might not give the needed result, even though those who are who are the killers must be arrested. I agree, but definitely the leadership must be brought to book. And the other thing is that who killed should be killed, because that's what the law states.
By firing squad or by hanging?
Anyhow, even by beheading.
Oh, wow.
Because there are people's children too. That's the only way.
Of course. True.
Well, in the Old Testament, what is it? A tooth for a tooth, an eye for an eye. Why are we not using it? If we have applied those rules, no one, even in the Quran, that's what he said. When you cut somebody's hand, your hand should be chopped off. At a point in time, if you kill, you have to bring somebody from your family to be killed. Or you are killed. Or you pay for, if it's a mistake, you pay ransom.
I think that's even the court group, that's what they do when they come, and then they are looking for someone. When they don't see that person, they go after who is in the house, maybe
who's related to that person.
Yes.
You see?
Well, this is something just like what was saying. This is not just conversant in Edo State. It happens or is happening in Nigeria now. The fact that we are using Edo State as a case study does not mean in other zones, in the other senatorial zones or districts or geopolitical zones, as the case may be, that doesn't mean all these issues are not going on. So when we make reference of Edo State, because we are in Edo State and we know this is a global audience, but then we are starting from home first. We're starting from home, and then we bring the issues as to how it affects us as citizens in a country. Now,
well, it's born in Edo State now. That is where it's happening, because this is where the police make the pronouncement. The IGP made the pronouncement.
No.
Is even the DPO, not even the Commissioner of Police.
I get that, but then for some people maybe who are just joining us, they'll be like, okay,
why
it's just
State?
Yes.
But the governor pronounced it because it has been a menace. It has been happening. It has been repeated several times. Even community clashes, cultism we set in.
Definitely.
In some part in Edo's one of the Edo South, I think in Oronwo local government, it has been happening. When the governor said that, okay, come and renounce and get even the amnesty. Why they put a death penalty for whoever is caught? So what are we talking about? Because it's become too rampant.
Too rampant. All right. Thank you very much for that. But let's talk on this case of the DPO. Now, the DPOs, they insist they are following due process. They said those found innocent during the profiling are released, and those with hard evidence are transferred to Benin for trial. But the streets are talking. Allegations are flying up and down that innocent boys are picked up without cost. Even the low-income youths are extorted, and hotel owners are harassed. So now the police denied it, and CSP Otwaga said, "We don't extort. Innocent people are freed. Only suspects with proof are charged." But the bigger issues remain in this issue is that how then do they distinguish between a cultist and an ordinary youth in a stop and search raid?
Yeah, it's possible because they are professionals. The police is so trained. The Nigerian police, this is what we can't take away from them. Yes, because when there are crises, that's why you don't allow crisis in an environment. Once there are crises, both the innocent are involved. That's why in some areas, in some cases, they call it collateral damage. When hoodlums invade an environment and there's no how they will evacuate that environment, the next thing is to take the necessary, look at the necessary evil, even when it needs even affecting other people, provided those people are eliminated. I don't know that I understand what I'm saying. Yes. So when they are doing stop and search, it's everybody, because that is no-nonsense approach. Mm-hmm. The no-nonsense approach is what now lead to police stopping whoever. The only thing is that you have to identify yourself. That's where the ID card, means of identification, is very important. Where do you work and who are you? This is the first thing they will ask you. The only thing I don't like in police when they are doing this, "Hey, come now!" They're shouting. You understand? I think they should be polite. There's what they call community policing, where you see them when they interact, you don't even know whether they even have gun. But yeah, they are the most dangerous, because they profile, they gather information, but they don't carry out arrests, but they only gather information. So I think the what the police is doing by that, harassing all the rest of them, that's what people will call it. But when those things are happening, don't forget, these people that are perpetrating these evils are part of the society. The people are aware, they didn't tell the police. They didn't call the police. Now the police are doing their work. You are calling it harassment. I know sometimes I see man with my overdo as police. Even though I'm not one, but yes.
It's inherent in us.
Yes. It's unavoidable sometimes, because these people are mixed up with the people. They don't have a means of identity. You understand? They don't have a facial mark. You understand? So all these things make it possible. So by the time they carried out arrest, there's one, they go get warrant, go and search. During the searching, they find some ornaments relating to the cultism. This is how they do their work. By the time they pick me now, the first thing, they take me to my location. Where do I stay? You understand? You are talking about hotels, and those people don't stay in their houses when they want to do this operation. They planned in hotels and guest houses. So by the time they are traced to that place, definitely the hotel will feel, because both the innocent who came to lodge in those and the accused, we see themselves as victims. Because they will arrest everybody, they break everybody down, except you are able to identify yourself that day. That is the only way that we make you free. That is why when you are going out, you go out with your means of identity, and make sure you are going out for a genuine cause. Because for somebody who may go there for like a short-time business, for instance, those who are just going out, they don't have any mission, you'll be packed. That is the nature of the society now. And people go out anyhow, they do, without even, people even fear hanging out. By the time it's 7 p.m. now, you see people running into their various dens. So I think it's high time they call a spade a spade. If the police are serious about this thing, yes, they should be consistent about it too.
Okay. Well, I want to counter something, or I want to ask a question on this. Now we're talking on raid. We're talking on raids and means of identification. This just brought me down to what happened in the past years. I was well. This is a true life story. So, well, if you are a law officer or a police officer, as the case may be, I would really appreciate you calling and let me understand something clear or better on this issue. Now, there was a time I was at home with my brother and sister and some of my friends. Then somehow we heard a loud bang on the door, and when I went to open the door almost fell down because of the heavy kicks these police officers were eating on that door that night. It was, I think, around after 9 in the night. So, and I was like, okay, what happened was, like, they started searching everybody's room because it was a student lodge. They started searching for everybody's room. And I remembered, though I was not really versatile when it comes to laws at that point, but I remember that I asked this question: where is
The warrant.
yes, where's the warrant for you to search?
Mm.
And I think I almost got a slap that day. And the whole funny thing is, every one of us that day was packed to the station, and no better profiling was given. We were detained against our right because we don't even know what was going on. It was until when we came back, that was when we started hearing stories like they were looking for people who always sit outside our house to smoke. So if you feel the smoke outside our house, does not mean you have to break down almost some of the door in a student environment. So when it comes to issues of protecting these people, and then you as a law officer, as a police officer, this is the best step you feel you can take, then I believe you are not doing the right thing. Because yes, I know it's very important, you must come out or you must show the warrant, the warrant or the search warrant, and then let us know what is it that you're looking for. Honestly, as at that day or till now, I always have this panic attack when it comes to heavy banging on the door, because, well, it's something that I'm experiencing for the first time. And as at then, to be very honest, my mental health was very, very down. So if you're a police officer, or if you're a law enforcement officer, we want to hear from you. Is this something that you do always, or is it just well, I do not want to mention the division's name, but if I'm permitted to, I'll mention the division's name. So is this how you really operate, or well, you have another ulterior motive when you came to that lodge on a night, on a Wednesday night? Yeah, I could still recall, on a Wednesday night, to search and to harass these students in the lodge. So the call lines are open. The number is 081 0126 9753. Now, on this issue of this extortion also, and they said innocent people are freed and only suspects with proofs are charged. Can law enforcement root out cultism without turning on the same communities they are meant to protect?
Mm-hmm. You see, that's why I say it's rooted in the community. It's a community issue. It's not alien.
Mm-hmm.
So turning them on is that means the community is aware and is supporting the cultism, because those who are killed are part of the community. By the time the arrest is being carried out, if it's carried out against those that were killed, they will not say anything. But if it's carried out against those who killed, that's where they will protest him, because they say it's their own son, it is clean, and not until it's proven otherwise. You understand? Okay. Yes. In the law court, they say nobody is guilty until it's proved otherwise. So I think what you are saying is that, like I said, police sometimes, some overdo. Some, do you know why at times they harass and do all this type of thing? Even those who come to arrest, they have those things the police has. They can take on you. They have guns, they have machetes, they can just be fighting. But when the police come with their force, definitely the next thing you have to surrender, because you know it's a law enforcement. That's why they will tell you, oh yeah, surrender. So if you see anybody refusing to surrender, that means he's backing on something.
Of course.
Yes. So I think that is why in some cases you see they are fearful, and there are different types. There are those who are as tall as Mariam here and bigger than me and you and Mariam together, large, hefty men, special task force. So they have different operations. So I think these are some of the issues. So if police are doing that, actually not all of them are doing the right thing. But I must tell you, in terms of this type of arrest, is the right thing to do, because you have to, according to the law, you have to pack, sieve, then profile. So anybody you arrest, you profile him, then you investigate him. So within 24 hours, that's why they say if you arrest somebody, no more than 24 hours, take him to court. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, now before we move on the insecurity issues in Edo State, let me ask this question, since we're still talking on court issues. Now, can Edo State finally confront its cultism problem head on without means for all of us in Edo State? Now, we asked a question and we want to get your feedback. What is the way? What do you think is the right thing to be done when it comes to cracking down on court-related issues? So we want to hear from you, our listeners. The call lines, the WhatsApp lines or text message too, they are open. Let us hear what you have to say. Now, Mr. Mansour, the time is going really far, and I wasn't expecting the time to be really fast today. Maybe it's because of what we are discussing, but because of time, I have this question to ask you. Now, can cultism activities, can they really be related to these ongoing kidnappings, the highway banditries, the pipeline vandalism, and even armed robbery going on in Edo State or even in Nigeria?
I think this question is what is bringing the crackdown.
Okay.
Because anything that has relative impact, that gives challenges to security, can be related to all these things. Because the way they are operating, if you can kill somebody, definitely you can kidnap. They can kidnap for ransom. It's possible. Because unnecessary killing. Then the other thing is that, where do they get their money to buy all these weapons they are using? Those guns are not, they don't pick them on the ground. You're talking of armed robbery. Yes, they are related. Because they are bloodletters. Why did they cover their faces in the daytime? If they are bold enough, let's see their faces. You see some of them are students. Some are touts, are dropouts. So all these vices going on, definitely they are related. It's just that there were other external forces that joined them. That's where you see kidnapping is on the higher distance and being alleged to a certain group of people. But in most cases, those that are carried out locally are carried out by this type of people. Yes, some are politically related, some are court related, some are business related, but because they are all kidnapping, they centralize it and generalize it and call it and be alleging that a certain group of people are the one doing it. But in reality, it is not true. Now it's been exposed. And why those killings in most cases? Is because as a result of sharing largesse.
One of the reasons.
One of the reasons. It's either they go and get this money through robbery or through this kidnapping, and they want to share. You've not gotten the percentage you were supposed to get. Somebody maybe feel is the capone or is the big man there, swallow everything. So definitely, or they gave you to go and give to the other person you didn't. You understand? So these are some of the things. Okay. And we are talking about this. Even between relationship, communal relationship, marital issues, social issues like boyfriend, girlfriend, lead to killings. Okay, you are bold enough to carry my girlfriend. Why? Are you talking to me like, who are you that I can't talk to? because you possess instrument of violence, whether illegal. It's because the society condone it. That's why in some schools, when you come, there's no to cultism. When we were in school, we did all this anti-cultism affair. We were fighting to make sure that we stamp this out of most of the institutions. But unfortunately, most of the leaders of the institutions were part. In Ife, our friends were killed as a result of a fiasco between himself and there was the SOG president, what do you call him, Iwolade Africa, at OAU. You understand? Mm-hmm. I don't know whether the VC is still alive. School leaders were using courts to maim student union leaders for challenging them, for challenging the school authority. Students were taking on their lecturers because they failed them. They were intimidating lecturers. Lecturers were failing students because they see them with the girls they like. So most of these issues that give rise to cultism in the society is as a result of oppression, suppression, superiority, bad governance. So if we can address these things, definitely. But I must tell you, all these questions you ask, they are related to cultism. Mm-hmm. It's only cultists that can do those type of work. There's nobody who is in his right senses who has. How can you have family and be operating in the bush? Those small boys. Because they are doing certain things, they are hidden. Then issue of drug related too. Just because you can't be in your right senses and come out in a broad daylight and brand a gun at somebody and shoot him. So I think to call a spade, holistic approach must be used, not political approach.
Okay.
Yes.
And now, before we round up, now, can cultism truly be eradicated if unemployment, drug abuse, and even this political patronage persist?
It can.
Okay.
It can.
Okay. So
you just answer the question. You ask the question and you answer the question. Yeah. How? Because provide jobs. Disabuse their man. Tell them cultism doesn't pay. You understand? Create recreational environment. Because all our environment are so harsh that even playing ground, there are no. Social grounds are not, and they are the responsibility of the government to make those things available. Nowhere you can go and sit down now and go and read your book. You just sit down and be under the tree. Except you go into the school or any institution nearby you. They've sold and privatized all these areas. They're supposed to be green zones in a community. Planted trees where government maintain. Put garden seats where people go and rest. Yes. But with the way government is going now, they are making provision for youth, creating jobs through agric, through other small scale, and even providing loans. So there is need to do a grassroots mobilization and disarmament.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, in all of this, we know what affects one state affects another, and thereafter affects the full culture, the whole country. Now, what are really the solutions? What is the solutions to cultism in Edo State, in Nigeria, especially in Edo State? I know you talked on some. I know we've talked about the community policing, the youth engagement. What other ways are there to curb this issue of cultism in Nigeria?
Yeah, like we said, provide good education.
Okay.
There should be free and qualitative education, and they should recruit teachers, good ones, and they make sure that they provide jobs for those, not necessarily teach them how to get this job. Skills acquisition should be provided. Skill-based education should be provided. That is the only way all these things will know. Because this is an environment that people see wealth as a Royal Rumble. What I mean by Royal Rumble is that a competition. If you are riding a car of 10 million, I say, see this one. Now let you feel ride a car. Where did you get the money? Let me. So this is what is causing all these things. There's a lot of competition. I want to ride the type of car my friend is riding. I want to marry a white lady. The type, we are such a competitive environment. These are the things that give rise to all these things. But by the time we de-emphasize them using religion podium, definitely all these things will go. But I must tell you, even the religion leaders, some of them are cultists.
True.
Yes.
Of course.
They use occultic means to perform miracles in their various churches and their mosques. So what are we talking about? So bringing them in is even a misnomer. So the government should stay, profile these people, call the leaders, and maybe withdraw the licenses and normalize the society. Whenever you hear any sound, then you identify whoever, then there should be a tooth for a tooth, an eye for an eye. That is the only way all these things will stop.
I believe it should be an eye for two eye and a tooth for two teeth. What do you think? All right, now to our listeners, this is not just about police. It is about all of us, like all of us. Just like our Toti said, my name is all of us. So are you a parent? Know your child's best friend. Are you a youth? Resist peer pressure. Are you a community leader? Use your voice for the right reason. Don't defend criminals. Are you a politician also? Stop empowering courts for elections. Now, the war won't be won with guns alone. It must be won with conscience. It must be won with courage and community collaboration. So special gratitude goes to Mr. Muhammad Mansour for taking out time to talk to us on today's issue of court-related killings and insecurity, as the case may be, in Edo State and how it affects us as Edo citizens. Now, our dear listeners, tweet us or catch us or use the hashtag at Qalam News Analysis on any of our social media handles, or send a voice note to the number that's displayed on your screen, and we'll keep the conversation going even after this mic goes up. Now, you've been listening to Qalam News Analysis at noon with me, Gift Okhagbuzor. Let's keep asking, let's keep questioning, and of course, let's keep pushing for a safer Edo State where all of us will thrive. Until next time, do enjoy the rest of your day.